Let's be real. You can have a six-figure income, a strong portfolio, and still feel broke inside because wealth without alignment doesn't feel like freedom. Nearly half of Americans don't feel confident making financial decisions, and 52% say they often feel guilty about how they spend their money. Even among high earners, more than half still feel they should be further along. And digging a little deeper, 39% of millennials, 47% of Gen X, and 55% of those earning 100,000 or more say they lack financial confidence. These are not all money problems alone. This is an alignment problem. There's a lot at play here: financial strategies, feeling stuck, direction without clarity, but underneath all that are the gaps between your life and money, between what you believe about money and what's actually true. Those gaps quietly sabotage clarity, confidence, and control. And they become barriers to giving yourself permission. Permission, that's the key word, to live fully and confidently without guilt, explanation, or justification. Today, we're unpacking the 5 permissions of wealth, the mindset and the money shifts that will help you stop self-sabotaging your success and build real clarity, confidence, and control. Those are the things that you need. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Preston Cherry, founder of Financial Harmony Membership, an award-winning financial therapist and financial planning PhD, and proud money norm smasher because I push back on money myths and miseducations. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. I love hearing what's on your mind, and join a community that believes that wealth should serve your well-being. Because when your life and money have alignment, your money has assignments, helping you live your wealth your way. All right, y'all, let's chop. Been hearing a lot about permissions here lately. The word permission shows up in the book Wealth and the Key of Life, that one right there, so many times. It actually sparked memories of the word permission in my early childhood because, you know, money is about how you came up, your experience with it, your culture, your experiences, your values, all of these codes that are embedded into you, your conditioning, your money beliefs, and how you carry those into adulthood and how those get into your decisions, your behaviors, your value systems, and how you go about your financial strategies in your current life and going forward. And a lot of folks are struggling now with the permission to prosper on their own terms and trying to seek out a justification for what they're doing with their money, or explanation or to people or even to themselves in the mirror about how they're going to go about their money, about their futures, explaining about their past, having money guilt. And this is affecting folks. It's keeping people stuck. And I'm going to show you today a framework to help you get unstuck and almost un-F yourself, right? I do some little bit of cursing on the show, but I'm not going to drop that one right now, right? But really to get out of feeling stuck, and I want yourself to give your own self permission to thrive on your own terms. My dad used to say, he still does to this day, he said, son, keep your eyes forward, keep your blinders on, don't look left, don't look to the right, do like them horses do when they're racing. Because if you take those blinders off, then the horses, they're going to lose their sight and they're not going to be focused and they're going to run off a track. And the same thing for your life and your money. You align your life and money such that you have your blinders on and you don't have to explain anything, only internally to your household, to you if you're single, or to your spouse and children if you have them, only internally to how you're living is what's important. So permission, giving yourself permission, is about freedom and to live, on your own terms. It feels a certain way to not have to explain. There's a lot of explaining going on here lately, or justification and the like. Me and my wife have a 1.5-year-old son, and I'm sure many of you have children or have nieces and nephews, young nieces, and whatever you have as far as young folks are concerned. And you have to tell people to gotta eat your peas. If you're grown and everything like that, you can eat your dessert at the beginning. But if you're young, you gotta eat your peas at the beginning, right? The vegetables. And what are these 5 P's? This is the permissions of wealth, the permission to prosper on your own terms. And what this framework is one of those that releases you from the guilt or past shame and releases you to future prosperity and abundance, to where you don't have to have this comparison to others or the shackles of being bounded to not wanting to live your wealth your way. And another thing I want to make clear is that financial plans, when you do your financial strategies, it's very important to remember that financial plans are not just numbers. A lot of folks share with me, the clients I've served over the years, and like, what does all this soft stuff have to do with the numbers? When are you going to get to the strategies? Well, you can't have numbers without the nuances of feelings. It's feelings and finances. And with the feelings and finances, then you have flourishing. And without one or without the other, you don't have a financial plan. You got to have yourself inside the plan so you can have that commitment to the plan and believe in it. And that's what it's all about. So here are the 5 Ps. The number 1 is about the person, and that's you. And the person is identity. And identity includes your unique value system, your beliefs, your ideals, your attitudes towards, money and life, your culture, your experiences. And we'll get to what your story means too. I would like to say, let's get to it now. There's stories in your financial statements, past, present, and future. And when you have stories in your financial statements, you find your story. If you tap into your story, you tap into your money. And that's what it's all about. And that's how you get to your financial plan. And it starts with yourself, that person, that first P. Who are you identity-wise? And courageously have that vulnerability to tap into that deeply and intimately, so to speak, and know who you are and be confident in that. Because the 3 C's of what you're looking for through this process of freedom is confidence, clarity, and control. That leads yourself to freedom, and giving yourself permission to do that, to thrive with this process. This permissions to wealth will allow you never have to explain again, and will give you that confidence that you need to carry out your financial strategies all the time. All right. So person and identity, the person, which is identity. Then we go to purpose. Purpose is unique in of itself because it gives you that conviction. It gives you that stick-to-itiveness, the glue to what you want to do in your life and finances. All right. It gives that, when I say life and money alignment, gives your money assignments. Well, this is what it's all about. And we'll get to the second part of alignment here in a minute. But purpose, what's the meaning? That purpose-driven sense that says, okay, this is what I want to align my life with, my money with, and use my wealth, my dollars, wealth, what it means to you. It's going to be different to everybody. And those wealth of dollars to secure those well-being domains that are important to you. And purpose is what that's going to be. What do you want to invest in? It may be family, yourself. What is that purpose that gives you meaning? That's what's going to drive you. Okay, so taking a quick pause here. If something in this conversation is resonating with you and you're shaking your head like this, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, or share the episode with somebody that you care about, because these moments of clarity, they are worth spreading. And if you're ready to go into a deeper dive, aligning your life and money, then take the free retirement readiness quiz. Join the Financial Harmony membership or my Substack. The links are all in the show notes. Now, let's get back to it. And then we have preferences, which is the 3rd P. And I love this one. This is the MYMFOB, right? Mind your own MF business. What that means is that different strokes for different folks. You hear all these, when I say we're pushing back on money and miseducations, you do not have to, there's not one way to do things, one way to do another. For example, we'll talk about this in future episodes. Luxury cars, to have this notion that everybody that has money that's made it and successful with money is walking around here or driving around here in buckets and hoopties. That ain't true, right? Just go to your nearest area code or zip code, drive around the neighborhood and see what they're driving. Not everybody's driving a Subaru or a 25-year-old car. They may have one in there with no notes. That's fine. But they also have another one too, or more than likely. So it's just not true, but it doesn't matter. That ain't your jam. If that's your jam, cool. If it's not, that's cool too. So preferences. It is very important that everybody aligns themselves with they value at the time. If that doesn't float your boat, then let that float their boat. What is your preference? It doesn't have to be a material good. It could be buying time affluence. It could be traveling. It could be crafting. My sister loves crafting. She has a crafting business. Shout out to Really Focused. Check that out on Facebook, by the way. But it could be anything as far as preferences is concerned. And it doesn't matter if it's a material item or a service good item or a quality life area or a life domain. That preference is unique to you. So once you've done, and we'll get to the financial plan, which is the 5th P or 4th P here in a minute, then you can align your money in that regard. So we have preferences. And then we have the next P, which is phase of life, phases, your life phase. Phases of life are going to dictate different alignment systems. When you're younger, you have a lot more time. You can take a lot more risk. You have a lot more freedom, right? You still have to commit to start developing some certain habits, but that life phase is different. different. When Gen X, I love talking to you Gen X folks. I'm a Gen X. So life stage vitality is very important. You have high incomes at this time of life. You have good vitality. Your body is still well for the most part. Your pockets are good. Your spirit is good. There's no better time right now, more than likely for Gen X, for you to be well holistically. So this life phase is different than say when you're 70 or 80, right? So you have to take advantage of this time now so you can live fully now and in retirements and not or. So life phases are going to be different. You may be spending a little bit more and enjoying this life stage, and then maybe perhaps spend less in retirement because the life stage itself is different. It's the life phase is going to be different. When retirement is going to be different. How the life phase is within retirement. In beginning, it's go, then in the middle, it's slow go and no go toward the end. So respect your life phase of which you're in. And then all of that goes into your financial plan, which is the next P. Financial plan, which is full of your stories, past, present, and future, and particularly present and future, that informs your financial strategies, the numbers. So your feelings and finances are meshed together in order to deliver a plan that you can now have conviction. And now you have all the C's. You have clarity, control, confidence with this permission that gives you. And then you have conviction to stick to it. And this is the permission to prosper, which is the equal, finishes out the equation. You have this prosperity, this prosper, this flourishing, and it all comes from permission. And if you, all those P's that are invested in your heart and your mind and how you carry out those elements, you'll never have to ask for permission. You'll never have to justify what you're doing to externally. You'll only have the conversations within yourself and within your household. And that formula gives you permission to do what you need to do and empower your financial plan in a way that that will reduce fear and worry. Are you where you should be and what you can and what you cannot do? That is the permissions to wealth, the permissions to prosper. Carry that out. You will find yourself. That is the permissions. So that's what I got for you. The permissions of wealth. Give yourself permission, y'all. Stop fronting on yourself. Stop self-sabotaging yourself and get you some permission to release yourself into freedom. Take that with you and we'll chop soon. All right, y'all, that's it for today's episode of the Financial Harmony Podcast. I hope you're walking away with something that really helps your life and your money move in better alignment. If this resonated with you, and here's how you can support the show. Subscribe. Share this episode with somebody ready to give their money an assignment. And if you leave a review, it helps more people find the work that we're doing here. And if you want to go deeper, then join the Financial Harmony membership. Subscribe to the Substack or grab a copy of my book, Wealth in the Key of Life. All the links are in the show notes. And until next time, keep living your wealth your way. We'll chop soon.